What a piece of junk!
This is the Shattered Order Podcast.
Go switch off!
If you're looking for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes news, information, and theory crafting, you've found the podcast you're looking for. With your hosts, Goodnight Punk and Wind Killer Inc.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 150th episode of the Shattered Order Podcast. I'm your host, Goodnight Punk, and not with me, as always, surprisingly, for the 150th episode, which was supposed to be this massive celebration of all the episodes we've done together. Turns out that my good friend Wink is right in the middle of Tornado Alley, so he's been, he said he was a few miles from the biggest, from the funnels, and his power was bouncing in and out. So hopefully Wink is okay. We'll be waiting to hear from him throughout this episode. Maybe he'll come back and join us for audio halfway through. That would be nice so we can know that he's all right. But until then, I am joined by some of my good friends from the Order, our alliance that the Shattered Order started. And so I just want to introduce you to some of the cool people that are in our alliance here. So first up, in the top left on your screen, if you're watching, that is Z-Splash, who is the guild leader of Future of the Order. If you listen to this show, you might know that a while back we started a new player guild, and Z is the leader of that guild. And I would say, what's the territory war record up for Future of the Order there? Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. I know it's a lot.
2019 is 19-0, I believe.
Okay.
That's insane.
19-0 this year. So the guild is prospering, let's just say that. So welcome, Z. How are you doing, man?
Good, happy to be here.
Awesome.
Looking forward
Next
to it.
up on the top right is Cotton, who is a member of Frequent Fighters, one of their officers. You might know Tesh, our trivia master from Frequent Fighters. This is one of his fellow officers. How's it going, Cotton?
Going good. I taught Tesh everything he needs to know.
All right. So
Thanks for having me here.
So the real question will be, once we get to trivia, whether or not that's true. So you have a way to prove your point. Although he did say he gave you the answers, so your win is tainted whether you win or not. So there you
No
go.
collusion. That's all I can say.
We'll see. All right, next up in the bottom left is my buddy Nate Ball, or Nate, from Shattered Order. He's one of my officers from the Shattered Order. What's going on, Nate?
Nothing much, man. I'm excited to use this Blue Designs mic that 2Bs gave to me. Shout out 2Bs.
Yeah, thanks 2Bs. Giving out
Appreciate it,
the
finally.
sweet blue products. We are actually, we got a giveaway coming up. We probably should have done that today on the 150th, but Bird Brain, that's me. So anyways, we'll get to that on probably next week. But thanks for coming, Nate. And next up on the bottom right is Dark Disciple, who is the guild leader of Order Initiates, who after Future of the Order was the next new player guild that we created. So how's it going over there in Order Initiates?
It's good, man. We're growing. It's crazy because I've got everything from 500,000 GP to a couple guys with 4 million GP. It's It's interesting to say the least, but we're doing well. We're doing well.
Awesome. And not on your screen, for those watching, won't make a difference for those of you listening to the podcast, but on the mic, we have Lax, who is the guild leader of Stormtroopers, another guild in our alliance. What's going on, Lax?
Good morning from Europe. It's 5 a.m. here, and all good.
Well, I'm glad you could set your alarm to be with us. We appreciate that. So, covering many parts of this U.S., because I'm West Coast. I know a lot of you guys are East Coast. We got Europe. It's all over the place today. But I can deal with that. So I don't have sounders because Wink's not here, so there will be no sounders tonight, but I will first transition into this. Did any of you guys submit questions for this Q&A that they put out last week?
I never do.
No?
I never do. I just read what they put out.
Well, awesome. Well, for those of us that did, like myself, they put out a post today that said that the question and answer is coming up on Wednesday from 2 to 3 Pacific time. So if you are interested in, any kind of news about the game, then that's coming up. The reason I say that is because, holy crap, this week was really slow. I don't know how you guys felt.
Yeah, what's going on with the game?
Just holding pattern, I guess. I don't know.
I need this new territory battle map because I need this currency, dude. I'm trying to get Malik 7 stars.
Right?
Yeah.
So I just put that out there that that QA is coming up on Wednesday. So definitely me and hopefully Wink, should he return next week. We'll be talking about that next week. But you'll definitely be hearing about some of those Q&A answers this week, I'm sure, because he said the normal crew would be there, plus a few surprises. So I don't know what that means, but I'm excited to find out. So for the people in chat asking, no Wink tonight. I'll say it again. Wink is in Tornado Alley. I have not heard from him since 7:30, so hopefully he's doing all right. But I figured we'd press on the way we always do, and hopefully we'll hear from him here in a little bit. So, yeah. So why don't we? Well, let's just get right into things. What do you guys say?
All right.
I asked you guys to come up with some topics for us to talk about on the 150th episode, and you guys brought them. So I want to know who we got first here. So first up, we got Dark Disciple. So what was your topic?
Well, since I have a lot of noobs in my guild order initiate, it was a question of how they should start. And I still suggest that they all do Phoenix Squadron because I feel it opens up the most doors at once. It gives you the most opportunity to start building your ships, to go and get Thrawn, to go and get Palpatine, and everything else that comes with it to help you open up more doors at once. Instead, a couple guys were like, oh, I want to go get Revan. And I'm like, okay, but how are you going to get there? And what are you going to do if you do get there? Because you won't have anything else in the game. But you'll have Revan, so have fun.
Right.
So I Phoenix is what Phoenix is. I mean, they're fun utility, but I still love them. They tried and true, in my opinion.
Anyone else have ideas? I got an idea, but I'll bring it up after you guys.
Well, I know you like First Order. I had a couple guys that told me that was your suggestion. And it's hard to argue that. It gives you a lot of the same things. It gives you ships, and then it gives you BB-8. And
then RGT.
Definitely nothing wrong with that.
So.
I mean, you got to have Ezra. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Anytime I see somebody with like a fully geared Phoenix team, I get jealous. There's just so much gear.
They are the.
So much gear.
We were looking through that gear list. I don't know if you guys have seen that we talked about on the podcast, but the Phoenix are one of the worst teams to gear, like the biggest gear hog teams.
One of the worst.
I think 150, 170 characters in the game. If you average average spot of the Phoenix characters on that gear list is up in the 130s. So almost everyone in that clan is super hard to gear, which is another reason looking for other options than the Phoenix to start might be a good idea, only because if you're pulling them out at the beginning, you're going to be sinking every piece of gear you get for a very long time into them. So that's also something to think about.
You hit a wall there at like gear 8 and gear 9. You hit a wall with all the Carbonis and stun guns.
Oh, I've been on that wall for life. Besides Ezra and Sabine, I got them pretty much maxed out because I really like playing with them. But I mean, I don't know. You got to get them good enough to get Thrawn 7 stars. That's for sure. I think Thrawn's the best character in the game.
But the good news is Ezra can carry that team a lot. So I just really geared the heck out of Ezra, and he really carries my Phoenix team. Like my Phoenix is, 85,000 GP? It's not that high, but you get your right guys at the right level, you can move on from there.
I'm in a very similar spot to you, GP-wise, with my Phoenix team, and they make a perfect back wall team. Because
Absolutely.
It's a team that I'm not going to use on offense more than likely, but they do sometimes surprise people in the back. So,
and they counterattack enough where you're taking off those health protection points. Or when you get high enough level, every single point counts. So it's a big thing when you have retribution up all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Lax? How are things going for you?
Well, I wouldn't have a clue right now what to start with. If I had to start the game all over again, it's I cannot even imagine that. But Phoenix does make a lot of sense, I'd say, especially Ezra, because it gives you foundations for many other legendary events. So, but we recently decided in Stormtroopers to move away from Phoenix in our defenses. So, because it's just dead weight. Every single territory where the territory is gone in like 10 minutes if they manage to go there. So we decided not to do Phoenix defenses, and we decided to go with Old Republic and Carth instead. So we'll see.
Interesting. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of Carth recently as well. Seems like a lot of these newer synergy teams are getting more play than the older ones. So here's what I wanted to ask you based on this question that Dark Disciple asked. We just had the reworks for Dooku and Newt. Now, Newt is a arena farm. What do you guys think of the viability of a Separatist team starting off if you were to go straight after a Separatist team? Because if you got Asajj Ventress, you could get her pretty easily. Newt Gunray's pretty easy. Geo Soldier's literally the first Cantina farm. The Poggle the Lesser you can get out of Galactic War. And Sunfok Guild B2 is there's a lot of characters there in the Separatist faction that I feel like for a new player under a Newt lead with his new leadership ability might be a viable option. And then on top of that, if you're going for the new, like they're doing now with Separatists and Galactic Republic, you're already working towards Padme, and we don't know exactly yet if Padme is going to lead to a possible Anakin, Order 66 Anakin or not. So if in the future this might be making even more sense as we get more information. But if you guys played around with Newt, you think that he might be something that new players could play with?
I don't really understand his leader ability, dude. I don't know. Separatists still, I don't know, dude.
I just feel like Newt's character is just missing that one it's kind of like Malik with the Sith Empire. They're just missing one piece that can make that team great, and I just don't think it's been released yet. So I think with the upcoming territory battle, they'll probably release some character that'll really synergize well with his leadership. But it's just not there yet for me.
You played with him at all? Sorry, man. You played with him at all, Z?
No, I haven't.
I think that's pretty much like a... Okay, here's a better question. And I'll go around asking it you because I'm curious. Z, what's your nude at, gear-wise?
7.
7? Cotton, you know what yours
Maybe
is
8.
at?
It would have to be 7 or 8 from a long time ago.
Nate, what about you?
Mine's gear 8 just for the Night Sister cheese.
The gone one?
Which they ruined.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of people are upset about that. How about you, Dark?
Mine's 7 or 8 too. I used to use the stealth with Leia and the Night Sister. Now it's gone.
How about you, Lax? Do you have him geared up?
I think mine is 9, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so I'm the only one with a gear 11 newt, so maybe I'm the only one with any type of feelers for this. But I do feel like he's got a very good chance to be a good leader, and I do think he might need something else. And I guess this question is probably a better one to leave for a later time as we hopefully get more information, or maybe this team pulls together a little bit more and might be worth a little bit more to put into as a new player. But I do think it might be something that could actually be an option beyond a First Order or a Phoenix. So I don't know.
When I look at Separatists, if it's not the General Grievous squad, nah, don't worry about it. The General Grievous Separatist team is sick. The droid team.
Yeah.
Duke and Night Sisters seems to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the no healing or heal immunity with the adding in plague.
Yeah, exactly. We tried that in Frequent Fighters last territory war. Had very good success with it.
Oh, very nice. Well, it might be something to look into for sure for us.
Dooku lead sisters?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a few that had several defenses.
Very nice. Yeah, I haven't played with it, so I don't know how well it does compared defense versus offense, but I know that offense from all the videos I've seen has looked really good. So.
Well, the good news is it's new right now, so not a lot of people know about it. It's kind of a trick in the hat.
Surprise. Yeah.
Oh, man. New defenses are the best.
Yeah.
Always. All right.
So what about your First Order start? You mentioned that.
Okay, so basically the idea is there's a lot of you can get a good solid base of First Order on the lower cantinas and through the stores, and through that you can go on to get BB-8, and once you're done farming that initial easy First Order team, you can move right on to Resistance to fill out all the players that you would need for RJT. And at that point, the two teams, for about the same amount of farms as the Phoenix team, you're working a Resistance and a First Order team, as opposed to having a Phoenix and an Empire team. So it just depends on what you want to go for, because I think in the end it takes about the same amount of work. There's a little bit more farming on the First Order side as far as cantinas go, but yeah, I think either one is a pretty good option. I know that I made an alt account to try this, but it was my third account, and it took me about a week to realize 3 accounts is just ungodly. So I gave up on that, but I have had 2 or 3 people have let me know that they've gone with this option and it worked for them. So it is something that can work. It's just not the tried and true method. I don't know. It's just, I know people like options, and for most of us here, fighting JKR in the arena for 6 months, that mirror match can just get really boring. And imagine doing it from level 1 to level 70 something every day, Phoenix versus Phoenix, you know? So some people might like another option than that. I don't know. So. Nate, you're up next. What do you got?
Favorite meta team ever. Let me pull these notes back up. I got so much stuff going on over here. Hold on.
Got you. We're waiting.
What was the best arena time? Your favorite meta team ever? It doesn't necessarily have to be your favorite arena team. It could be your just favorite team ever. For me, I know mine is Night Sisters. Night Sisters is my favorite team to play with. For sure.
Did you run them in arena back in the day?
No, dude. I wish I did at the very end, but I wasn't there at the beginning of it, which is the best time. By the time I got there, it was like something else is coming up, but I did at the very end.
I was gonna say the real
Because I
question
thought
would have
it was so
been
awesome.
whether you accidentally geared your zombie up too far or not before you knew it was good to have him blow.
No, I had him paper zombie for a while.
Mine was gear 9 for the longest time because I didn't even
I had
know.
him paper zombie.
That makes
Yeah, I had
sense.
him just good enough.
How about you, Z? What's your favorite arena team so far?
I'm just running CLS right now. That's
So
been
what's the team?
CLS, R2, Han, Chewie, C3PO. Keeps me around 400 in the arena.
Gotcha. Wait, say it again. Sorry, I was off looking at other things.
So CLS, Han Solo, R2, Chewie, and C3PO.
Oh, okay, very nice. Yeah, I still see that one on my chart too. Not so much at the top, since the top it just involves it's almost JKR over again with Darth Revan for me. But yeah, that team is definitely more fun to me than playing Darth Revan.
Yeah, my arena is Darth Revan all day. One guy randomly has a really good Padme team. One guy always uses JKR still. And the guy right before me uses Traya.
That guy's
and he's
still moving up.
And he's always at 1 right before me, so when I go to take my spot, I just hit auto for like 15 seconds and it's over. Love it.
That's pretty great. How about you, Cotton? What do you got?
Well, I've always been a big fan of the First Order, and especially some of the more eccentric characters, like the Special Forces TIE Pilot, and who's the other one that's not used so much? Well, Fox, obviously. I mean, it's just a fun team to run with Crew as a lead, Fox as the damage dealer. You're getting all these guys who could just keep assisting Fox, and it just turns into a really fun match for me. So I've always loved First Order, but I wish it would have been more arena viable, because it's never really, except back in the days, maybe before CLS, it's never really been that arena viable. But I always think it's a lot of fun. So that's probably my favorite team to run. Maybe not so much meta, but still fun.
Right. How about you, Dark? What do you got?
For me, it was the Bastila Shan Jedi when they reworked Yoda and Bastila came out, and Jedi were just flying everywhere.
Yeah, I really like it.
I still run it. I alternate depending on who the opponent is. I'd go between the Bastila Jedi. I've got a CLS Rebels squad, and I've got the Palpatine with Fallen Bastila. And depending on who the opponent is, I just toggle between the three, and you almost never lose. But Bastila giving Yoda all the extra protection and having him fly all over the place with those buffs is just, I love it. It's insane.
Yeah, I really like that too.
I think Bastila is a leader for a lot of different teams, even without Yoda, makes them fun because you can turn a crappy Jedi into a decent either offense team or even defense team. I mean, there's so many
make
defense
Jedi-
teams where it's crazy.
Yeah, it made Jedi epic again.
Yeah, that was the first step. Like the first step would have been when Grandmaster Yoda got his leadership ability reworked with the Zeta. Then everybody put that Zeta on him, and then about 2 weeks later, Bastila came out and negated that Zeta for everyone that spent it.
Oh yeah,
But-
still mad about that.
Yeah, but Yoda's new rework for his leadership was step one, and then when Bastila came, that's when the renaissance for the Jedi absolutely happened. How about you,
Yeah,
Lax?
she
What did
came
you
out-
got?
Well, for me, I think it needs to be Jedi Knight Revan. Only, only because it's the first team that got me first place in the arena ever,
Nice.
and I haven't found the mirror matches that tedious, to be honest. My Revan wasn't the fastest on the chart, but I was managed to take first place day after day. It was beautiful times until Malak, and until they nerfed Anakin. Right now, I'm not able to go to top 10 in my arena.
Dude, you and me both, man. Because I was when JKR was the only one. I was taken first whenever I wasn't at work, and then now that Malik and Darth Revan are there, even though I have both of them 7-star, Gear 12, whatever, I don't have the mods to make them the fastest or near the fastest. So I think I take between 12 and 20 every day, somewhere between 12 and 20. My goal is to get under 20 every day because it's just so ridiculous, the mirror matches that I cannot win. So
Yeah, same here.
yeah.
Now, I might have said Jedi Knight Revan if I got him on the first go, and then I might have said him because not very many people got him on the first go. And then I
That
think
definitely
that's what
made it
created
better.
Such a panic. That's what made such a panic for Darth Revan because it was just like, if you didn't get Jedi Revan on the first go, I was like, this game sucks.
Well, wait, Nate, we had a guy that ended up retiring, I guess you could call it, this week from our guild, from when guilds came out way back when. He didn't have Darth Revan or Jedi Knight Revan, so to him, Territory Wars, Grand Arena, and pretty much anything besides territory battles, he was not competitive in, and he just did not have fun in the game anymore, so he just was done. So I can totally see that side for the way the Revens are. If you're still sitting on neither one of them right now, I could see how that would just make this game a lot harder to enjoy. So,
Oh,
How
man,
bad
if you don't
for that?
have either one, I don't know how you live.
it's you've got to be running either a Treya with Bastila, Sean Fallen, or the CLS team, one of those two. That's your only hope at the moment. Treya, even, that isn't really that meta unless you go on a shard that doesn't have a lot of Treyas. But yeah, it's crazy. Mine, as far as I can say this, and I'll bring up, this is a topic that's not on the list, but I want to see what you guys think of it. Actually, I know what you're going to say, Nate, because we've talked about this, but my favorite arena team ever, I can't even remember exactly who all was in it, but it was a Phasma lead, so think about how far back we're going here. It was a Phasma lead with Geonosian Soldier, Darth Sidious, Stormtrooper Han, and there was a healer, and I can't even remember who it is. Like, I can't even remember the whole team, but that was the most fun I had in the arena.
Luminara?
It might have been Luminara at that point.
Luminara,
This was
dude.
literally like the first 6 months of the game. This was the team I
only
used.
healer back then.
Now, I'll say this. Back then, I was in the 150 range, so I wasn't fighting for anything, really. I didn't really know what the arena was or why it was important, but that was my favorite team back then. If I were to go for a meta team...
Dooku lead, dude. Dooku and Royal Guard, bro. Running the game.
I just got Dooku... I only got Dooku to 7 stars like a year ago, and he's still Gear 8 right now. So I was not a part of the Dooku meta or the old Ben meta. So I was running Phasma back then. I think my favorite meta team ever was Wiggs with Chase and
Chase.
Wiggs, Chase, and who was the other one?
Wiggs is what killed Dooku and Royal Guard, I think.
That's probably why I liked him, since I didn't have Dooku and
Because if you had
Ben,
Dooku
I had
and Royal
Wiggs,
Guard,
so
you couldn't be killed. You couldn't be killed.
oh yeah. Well,
And when
remember,
mods first came out, you definitely couldn't be killed because Royal Guard had like 1 billion health. What seemed like.
yeah,
I think Wiggs killed it though.
I do believe you were correct. It was either Wiggs or Bodhi. No reaction from anyone. I remember on this show when they released Bodhi's kit, I'm like, all right, the dodge meta is over, because Bodhi has that ability that reduces dodge.
Turn meter?
Reduces evasion.
Yeah, reduces evasion. So I'm like, oh, this dude's perfect for this meta. Everyone's going to use him. He's going to be amazing. I don't think I've ever seen a Gear 12 Bodhi Rook. Anyone?
He's worst character in the game.
Dude.
I love Bodhi for territory battles.
Oh my gosh. How did he even get in the game?
My base is still only like 5 stars. But Bodhi against those Empire, taking all that turn meter away that they can't resist, and then he gives assist with offensive up to Chirrut. He's not that bad.
See, I actually like
Pretty
his
bad.
kit, but I'm not gearing him. He's like low on the list. I would actually say this. Here, I'm going to ask this question because I think it's fun. I think the worst character in this game is Mob Enforcer. Literally, no point, nothing in that kit that does anything.
I'm
that
not
would
quite
be my
sure how
pick.
to get in the game.
So I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna ask you, quick thinking. What do you think is the worst? Z, who's your worst character in the game?
I'll have to go with Mob Enforcer Cup.
No, no, dude. All these scoundrels, Cups, snatching them up, doing his job.
How about you, Cotton?
I'd probably have to say Lobot, just because I've never found a need for him, and I've always wanted to try to put him on like a droid team. He seems like he'd be a great droid handler. Like even before General Grievous's leadership days, like he could have made a droid team, but they just dropped the ball on him, and nobody cares enough to bring him back.
Except Urzatron. I don't know if you've ever seen Urza's videos with Lobot. That's his dude. How about you, Nate?
The Contrarians.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know. Probably.
Oh,
He's probably the worst character in the game. I don't even have him unlocked, dude.
Me either. He's the only character I do not have unlocked. Is because I just still haven't got enough bronziums of him to unlock.
I haven't either. I'm 68 of 80 on.
You check the Google Translate on that before you joined?
Yeah, that's what it said.
How do you pronounce?
Sounds like.
How do you pronounce?
Yeah, that's what it said.
How about you, Dark?
If
If you had to pick
basic
one.
has a stun, no?
Jedi Knight Guardian.
Oh.
No.
Doesn't she give offense up though? An AOE offense up?
I don't know. But she hits worse than a paper bag. You get her early on, and then you're like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah. All right, I'm curious if
Clone Wars Chewie.
Oh god, dude! So one of our guild members, Elon Mustard, posted a video, or not a video, but a screenshot of a team he was fighting on his alt from Future of the Order, and it had a bunch of really good Gear 12 characters on it, and then smashed in the middle of all of them was a Gear 12 Clone Wars Chewbacca, and I'm like,
Did it have Zeta?
I don't remember. All I know is I thought, what does this guy know that I don't? Because
He was just confused, probably. Probably got confused.
Nah,
Lax,
it's a
do you have
troll.
one that's Lax? Do you have one that's different than ours?
Rose Tico.
Yeah, she's terrible.
Oh man, burn
Both
on
in
Wink.
game and in movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's terrible. How'd she get in the movie, bro?
She's in the next one too, so enjoy.
Oh, great.
Yeah, she's gonna get rework.
Yes. Jedi Knight Guardian is AoE defense up. Yep, she's garbage. I hate defense up. Such a worthless. So bad. All right, so yeah, that brings us to Lax with your topic. What did you got? What did you have?
Jesus, I had a topic.
Yeah, I can remind you if you would if you forget
okay.
it.
Yeah, I mean, I was so stoked about General Grievous rework, which I really hoped he would be meta. That didn't happen. And I really thought Malevolence, his capital ship, will be coming with him too. So the point is, we haven't had any new capital ship since Chimera, like a year and a half ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
So is Malevolence or any other capital ship on somewhere in the horizon? What you guys think?
Trust me right now, Wax. That ship is coming. Been saying it. That ship is on the way.
Well, it has to be coming because there's like this lull right now with all the players who invested heavily in Malik, and I feel like the Padme event is kind of drawing some of the meta towards Padme and Jedi and Anakin. So they got to make Malik worth the investment that a lot of these big whales put money into the game, including myself, really. I didn't spend any money on this game until the Malik event, and now I feel almost a little bit cheated from it. So if you put a capital ship behind him, it'll make more return on the investment, which will be great for everybody who got him.
Well, look, great. So it's been over a year since Thrawn came out. I mean, it's been like a year and a half probably. So let's say Malevolence didn't come. You were talking about Malik's ship just now, right? Or are you talking about Grievous' ship? Cotton.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must be thinking of a different name. What was Malik's capital ship? I think Malik's going to get a capital ship.
That's what I thought you were saying.
Oh, what?
Because Malevolence is General Grievous' capital ship.
I'm sorry. I'm misthinking name. Is it the Leviathan, or I forgot what the capital ship is, but Malik has a capital ship.
Okay, so that would make sense
with
too.
A capital ship, that would be insane.
But
that would suck balls.
Think of it this way,
I
though.
don't know, man. Both characters are super hard to get for a new player like General Grievous. I remember thinking, I'll probably never get General Grievous. Shard Shop? I'm never going to get that guy. I don't know.
Thankfully, he comes in the fleet store a lot. That's how I got him.
Yeah, I think that's how I got him too. But when he was just Shard Shop, I was like, yeah, I'll never get this dude ever.
Well, okay, so now you got me thinking, so I'm going to make a point that might make that seem possible, and that's the fact that ever since they released all those Sith ships, there was a thought that there might become a Sith capital ship.
Right.
That could be the one.
Believe
you
that.
know?
I'm farming Sith ships. Sith ships?
Easy for you to say.
Yeah.
Sith ships. I'm farming them every day. Refresh. One refresh. And the Hawk. I'm almost there, 7 stars. Be there by next territory battle.
I'll mark that down. So yours is the name I'll call when we need it in the platoons.
I'll be the one to deploy it. I'm like 55 of 100 or something.
Ah, very nice. The only reason I can see it... Sorry, go ahead, Lex.
Yeah. For me, if you look at the Galactic Empire, the galactic ships, we have 8 of them. With Anakin was the last one. So was thinking, what if they are needed to unlock Malevolence for Grievous, especially with all the Clone Wars content coming.
Get
I can
that
see that.
base we work.
Dude, that would be interesting for sure, because we have a Galactic Republic capital ship, but no Separatist capital ship. And if that's the way they're going with the GOTB and kind of focusing on those teams themselves, that would make a lot of sense to bring in the Malevolence even then at that point, because of the balance between the two. I don't know how many. Like, what type of ships would a Malevolence synergize with? There aren't a lot of Separatist ships, are there?
We got the Geo ships.
Right.
Yeah,
Those are
maybe.
in there.
Ventress can get her ship. Dooku can get his ship.
That would be sick.
And we have new meta and new moneymaker.
Yeah, very true.
Oh
That'd be
man, I'm
interesting
just
for
loving that. I'm just loving the Millennium Falcon meta right now, man. Just loving it. I'm able to climb, man. I'm able to take one every day. Actually,
so
me and
much-
this guy split.
I hate how much RNG has just dictated everything.
Just be the fastest. It doesn't matter. Just be the fastest. and You'll be all right. Just max out Admiral Akbar, dude. That's what I did, and I'm 179, fast as you can be.
Which means, but that's also, since there's no mods there, everybody can be 179, right? And then at that point, it's a toss-up between who goes first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's a toss-up with how many assists you get. So
It's a toss-up. Are you gonna kill Houndstooth or not?
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, what's going on here?
All right. Well, that kind of leads into the next topic, which Z brought up, and why don't you introduce us to that?
Real quick first, one note on the capital ships is I thought we missed a good opportunity with The Last Jedi and the Dreadnought. You know, it's one of the fewer bigger ships we actually see in the movies. I think First Order could use it.
That would be cool.
Definitely.
That would be cool.
I'm gonna have to look it up because I don't remember which one that is.
The Dreadnought, the freaking
like a-
big, huge ship in the beginning.
Is that the one
of the movie.
Snoke was in?
No, that's the one they bombed.
It's
Yeah.
the one. It's the one they bombed in the beginning of the movie.
Oh, okay.
It looks like-
Okay.
It's like a huge stealth bomber.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's really flat, right? Okay.
Yeah.
It's like the
Yeah.
coolest looking ship in all of Star Wars.
Yeah.
That
First
one.
Order definitely could use a capital ship as well. Hopefully that's something we see like come, into November, December when the new movies are coming around. Because I'd totally be up for that.
I would like them to release two capital ships at once and make people choose.
That would be totally awesome to me.
Because we always talk about they always just come out with one thing. I want them to come out with like two, make people choose. The red pill or the blue pill. What are you gonna do?
Like Hermit Yoda and Wampa, whatever you farm first.
Yeah, right. Like that.
Makes sense. I like that because then it also it shakes the meta a little more because there's so many more teams you can come up with to try to make viable then, and people have to choose one way or the other. That's an awesome point.
I just get spooked about shit meta because I got my payout. I got two instinct guys like right before me, and they always have a maxed out fleet the day it comes out, and I'm always like, oh my gosh, man, how am I gonna beat this guy? Like when Bugs came out, this instinct guy, he had Bugs maxed out the day it came out. I don't even think he moved for like 2 weeks.
That'll happen because nobody else will have those bugs maxed out. That's for sure.
He had
No one
Bugs. He had Bugs maxed out on the first day, and I was like, all right.
I ignored bugs completely. I just refused
I
to
farmed
play
it up
in
now.
Fleet Arena.
Drew in chat. Holdo with a suicide special move after 5 turns.
Yeah.
What is? Do you automatically lose if your capital ship's gone, or do your little ships just keep going and you can't reinforce anymore? That'd be interesting.
Maybe on some of those timeout squads, it'd be an interesting option if there's like 30 seconds left in the battle. Self-explode for the win, kind of like IPD. That'd be a
Yeah,
good
'cause that's what
mechanic.
I was thinking. Like you have to have at least one of the fighter ships out to be able to use the ability.
Right.
All right. So what did you have, Z?
Fleet nodes farming. Prioritizing them. Jolie, Zalbar, Nest. B1, and Karth, just to name a few. Yesterday, I hit
Droideka.
zero. Yeah, no.
No, it's B1 that's in Fleet.
Fleet nodes.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So yesterday, I hit 0 of 10 farming B1. And it's
Zero of 10 in Fleet is like 0 of 30.
Yeah,
so
it's
regardless, it's gonna take some planning as to which legendary you're going for next, how long it's gonna take to get to 7 stars. Yeah, I want to finish Nest, but that's putting off Karth and B1 for how many more months at this rate?
Oh man, that's a tough one because Nest is so good. I think she's one of the best characters in the game.
Yeah, I've been putting off getting her. She's at like 50 out of 100 stars for past couple of months. Because every time a new fleet meta comes, it's just you got to start farming it right away. It's been a grind.
So I think it depends where are you in the game, because if you're pretty early, then it's a really big question which node you're coming for. And I really wouldn't know what to do. Maybe to go for Karth to try to get Darth Revan. I don't really know, but I'm in a fortunate situation when I finished with Nest and all the other hard fleet nodes. Right now, only B1 is left for me, and since I think something with the Galactic Republic will come up, I'm farming Annie's ship. So those are both on my list right now in fleet nodes.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on the idea that it definitely is going to depend on where you're at in the game. Because for a lot of people that might have hard times in Grand Arena or Territory Wars, Nest is a really important PvP character. At least I think so. Because in Grand Arena, in 5v5 or 3v3, and even in some 5v5 teams, she can just take them all on herself. Which is another reason why I always advocate for Wampa beyond the fact that I just love him as my favorite character in the game. But the extra additional weapon you can get from one character is why I would still go for Nest. But if you have 4 people that's getting ready for another legendary that might be coming back around, and then all you have is that one, I don't think it's worth it as well to push off or keep going on Nest and pushing off the legendary for 4 months if you can get it done in the amount of time before it comes back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have Nest. She makes teams different, man. I think she's one of the best characters in the game. She changes the counters for so many teams. If I see a team, I'm like, okay, the counter's this. But then if they put Nest on the team, I'm like, damn, now I can't use this. Now I have to use a different team. Or Nihilus, I have to annihilate her. I'm not going to be able to kill her. Or Night Sisters or something. I have to get Plague on her or something. In every Ewok, I don't use Nest in any Territory Wars or Grand Arenas because in case somebody sets their Ewoks, I just use her to solo it and get 64 points.
Well, let's see. These are the characters that I saw on. I'm looking on swagaga.com right now. .com. Why do I always add .com there? I'm looking at Swagaga right now, and I know Z, you mentioned the characters already, but I wanted to look them up because I didn't have them on hand. So, basically, what you got: Karth is used for Darth Revan, Bastila is used for Jedi Knight Revan, as well as Jolee. So, and then Zalbar. Zalbar's Darth Revan, right? Or is he Jedi Knight Revan?
Jedi Knight Revan.
Yeah, Jedi Knight.
Wait, so there's 3 fleet nodes for Jedi Knight Revan?
Yeah, but they also have regular hard nodes, so they're not solely fleet.
Okay,
Like
see, I never.
Karth is only fleet, so that's like my account is only like 1.8 million right now.
Mhm.
I don't even have Nest unlocked at all. But I'm doing it's too niche. Like if I sit there and I just do nothing but Nest, it's gonna put me behind so much on the other stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm doing Karth so that when I get there, when I'm ready for Darth Revan, I'll have Karth done because it's going to take me a year to do it anyway. And while I'm doing them, I can at least have a viable Old Republic team that's still good for Grand Arena, that's still good for Territory Wars.
Not as good as Nest.
Maybe not, but you're going to sit there and just do nothing but Nest when you're only 1.5 million player or something? Like, it's going to set you back on everything else.
She's so good.
I think going back to the prioritizing thing, I think the best way to prioritize fleet nodes is anyone that has a hard node, unless you want to double farm them to make them quicker, save them for the hard nodes and go after the fleet node characters only with that fleet currency. I know I remember doing Scion in both to make it twice as fast, but back then there weren't as many characters in fleet nodes, so it made it easy. Because I think Scion came out right when Ships 2.0 came out, so it was easy to double dip because he was the only character that you could farm. So as far as prioritizing goes, I think doing the ones that are hard nodes as hard nodes and keeping the fleet node ones only as the priority is probably important, because at some point you'll never get to them if you just do fleet, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's easier to choose when you've been playing, since the beginning, and you have less options to choose from. I can't imagine just starting being like, do I do Karth or Nest?
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, because then it boils down to, as a new player, figuring out where the easiest farms for the legendary are. And I have never really analyzed the two side by side. But, Darth Revan at this point might be easier than Jedi Knight Revan. I'm not saying that's the case, but I don't know. And as a new player, you got to figure out which of the two is the easier one if you haven't started on either of them. And, it's just, I don't know. It's rough trying to figure them out.
I would just get Nest, because by the time if you start now, just get Nest. By the time if you start now by the time you get Darth Revan, sorry, it's gonna be a new meta is gonna be out, and you don't have to worry about it. So just get Nest, because she's so good.
She is definitely on a similar type of level as Thrawn as far as plug and play. And I think
plug and play characters are the best characters in the game.
And I think that's...
I think.
When we were talking about arena metas, I meant to just bring this up. But out of all of you guys that are here as guests, how do you feel about the need for the way that it's gone to mostly synergy and less theory crafting and plug and play teams? Like the mixture of the two. Did you like it better when you could put 5 people together and have a viable team? Or do you like it better having these synergy teams that are more focused and thematic? You know what I mean?
Titans.
Yeah.
Titans.
Like that. See, because there used to be, like I said, my favorite arena team involved a Geo Soldier, a Phasma, a Stormtrooper Han, all these weird people that when they came together, the team was actually really good. But now if you tried to put that together against a synergy team, it would have no chance. So, I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about the way things are right now.
Well, I think some of the mechanics have become so complicated that you can't really cobble anything better than what they've created with these little synergy bubbles they have. They have characters that work unbelievably well with each other, but not great without each other. So it's like with the Padme, I don't really see Padme being put in any other team except for a very specific team. Whereas back in the day, in the GA, I could put my IPD with some crazy team, or you could come up with some great combinations that you just can't get with some of the new squads with that synergy. So it restricts you, and I don't think it's nearly as fun.
Yeah, I get better satisfaction when I put 5 characters together, a synergy team. I'm like, they're supposed to be good because they're a synergy team. But when I put 5 characters together that are random or something, and it ends up being a good team, I'm like, I love this. I can't believe this happened. Can't believe Titans is a team.
Or even on a smaller scale, like one of my funnest GAs that I had recently was using who was it? It was a Zavage lead with Sith Trooper, Malik, and a couple other super heavy defense characters and like 1 damage dealer. And it ended up getting like 6 defenses because nobody knew the mechanics, and it was fun. Like that really made it fun for me and interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a different game than it was when it came out now, and it's there's still ways to go around it. There's still things you can do, like the Dooku Night Sisters team we talk about. I mean, there's certain things that can still work. It's just way more restricted, and I don't know.
I think
Not good for the game.
problem with synergy teams is when you do mirror matches, it's all about mods. It's speed, and like there's no other way to do it, And with previously, you could tweak your team. You can switch character to some other one, to take some different mechanics to disarm the opponent's team. And like right now, it's like you just have to have better mods, and that's all.
Speed Wars, Galaxy of Heroes, always has been, always will be.
Yeah,
sorry to burst your bubble. It's Speed Wars.
Yeah, but even with the Jedi Knight Revan team, it wasn't necessarily all about speed. There's one character that you max out on speed, and the rest you can play around with, which is great. I love that meta for that respect.
Yeah, one of the best. The Jedi Knight Revan team was another good one because you could actually play around with it a little more. There were more Jedi that you could use with it, and it just made it more. It made it more versatile, I guess, because there were people using Plo Koon in the team. I mean, characters that just never saw any play at all because that option was there. But when you get into like a team where, like Sith Empire, where there's 6 characters and you only get, you got one option to flip out, it makes it just a little bit hard. I don't know.
It's like the character abilities are so long. I'm like, when I first see a new character and read the abilities, I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. They're so long, crazy, and plus, like Padme will be like, she assists if Anakin is on the team. Like you can't switch out anymore because you have to have these 5 for anything to happen. You have to have Padme, Anakin, and Snips, or they won't even work.
I can say that that's been. I can say that that's been going on for a long time though, because it started with Wigs and it started with Wigs, then Shays, and then that's been a thing that's been happening for a long time. It's just definitely more prevalent now because that used to be something that didn't happen as much. Like those were the only 2 for a long time, but now you got Chewbacca and Han. You got Snips, JK, Padme.
I don't necessarily hate it. They should have that kind of synergy though.
Yeah, as long as it's not 5 where you can't pull anyone out. 3 is getting on the high end, but 2's fine. 3's good. Start getting to a 5-person team where if you put anyone else in there, nothing happens. It really restricts things. All right, Cotton, you had the next topic, so why don't you tell us? Yeah, I hear it's story time.
Yeah, basically, I always laugh when I hear this. But basically, in the day when the guild started, I just had a join a guild feature. So that was the first thing I did is push that button, join a random guild. And I ended up getting in this guild called Pit Fighters. And it was a great group of guys, but it was all just randomly selected people who just selected to join a guild. And nothing was put together, nothing's organized. So we had this, the heroic pit started happening, and we realized how great the rewards were for that. So we got a guild leader to come in and start organizing us and trying to get people, light some fire under people. And it ended up, he turned out to be this crazy dictator who's just crazy on the power trip. And so he comes in, he starts making all these changes, and he puts this challenge to all of us. He said, who could do the most amount of damage on the first heroic pit? And I just want you to do one run, one attempt, and then we'll see where you all land. We're going to cut all the loose weight, and we'll keep all the good players, basically, is what it sounded like. So I was really nervous, and I didn't really know how to do it. And this was back in the Tebow lead days, where you're really trying to focus turn meter reduction and find another use for that old Chewbacca that nobody uses anymore. You know, just turn meter reduction stuff. So anyway, so I do my first run in the first round, and I get 1,000 points less than the leader. And I brag about it on the thing. I'm like, oh, look how well I did, and the leader acknowledged it. So just to piss him off, because I'm always just trying to do stuff, I sent in some cheap Ewoks the night after, and I got 1,008 points more than I had. So it put me 8 points above him. And when he came in, he just flipped his lid, threatened to kick everybody, and immediately kicked me out of the guild. So I was like, hey, you want to do that way, that's fine. I know what I'm worth. So I randomly went and I found Frequent Fighters, and they were recruiting, and joined up, and that was about 3 years ago, and I've been with you guys ever since. It's been wonderful.
Wow.
Wow.
So
What a dick.
Yeah,
But I think everybody's had that leader. The power just gets to the head, and they think, oh, I'm going to make all these sweeping changes, but in the meantime, they become just total dicks.
Nate, have you had that leader?
I didn't want to segue to this, but
You've only ever had one leader, so...
Yeah, well, I've been in this guild ever since we started. I was like, yeah, I'll join. Yeah, I'll try it out. I had a leader like that in World of Warcraft back in the day. He was pretty ruthless. He yelled at me a lot.
I definitely had it there too as well, so I get that.
He yelled at me a lot in Ventrilo, if that's still a thing. I don't know if
It's
people
not.
use it.
Everyone uses Discord.
Oh,
So.
yeah, back then it was Ventrilo, and he yelled at me.
TeamSpeak?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, we cut your transition. What were you saying, Cotton?
That's pretty much it. And so I joined Frequent Fighters, and I think it was Craig who approached you originally, wasn't it? About joining the Order? Is that how we all hooked up together?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
Craig is just the most social guy you'll ever meet, the nicest guy ever. And so he introduced us, and I really just kind of wanted to say, from having a solo guild to joining an alliance, it's been just a great resource for me and for all of our players. Being able to have access to all like the different personalities, and 50 players is an island, and how much player base there is in this game. But then you start adding on top of that, 300, 350 like we have right now. You just get so many more ideas that you would never think of on your own, or that even 50 people wouldn't think of on their own. So joining the guild or joining the alliance for Frequent Fighters has been just very rewarding, is the best way I could put it.
For sure.
So I agree. I say, just going off what you said with the island thing. I think the best thing about this game, in my opinion, isn't even in the game, but it's outside the game, right? You got all these content creations. You got all these YouTubers. You got all the podcasts. You pretty much got all these different communities, Reddit, and then you have your own guilds. But if you're in an alliance, like you said, you get all those people together. And I think the best thing about this game is the community, and having all the people to talk to. Even if I wasn't on a podcast, even if I wasn't in any of those other servers, just having all the people in our own alliance to talk to just makes it that much better for me. Because I work nights, so even when my guild's asleep, there are people online in Discord to talk to. If you want to talk about the game, you want to talk about whatever, there's always someone around in our alliance. So, I think it's, as far as community goes, it's great.
Yeah, and at the end of the
Hello
day,
from Europe.
Well, at the end of the day, there's not really much to do with the game, so it's really what you can make out of it. Like, if you create a community of people, like, there are probably a good 15 or 20 people in Frequent Fighters that I know more about than some of the guys I worked with for like 15 years. I mean, just like really close relationship. And when the game gets boring and when we're kind of in this lull right now, it's those characters and those personalities that keep it fun and keep it interesting for me.
Absolutely. Well, that's Z. You wanted to mention this as well. This is something we do as an alliance. That's we always talk about different random things on this podcast that we do with our guilds and the alliance to try to build camaraderie, have a little fun, and there's something we've been doing this year that you wanted to mention.
Well, this was your idea if you want to explain what it is.
I didn't know if you wanted to talk a little. I mean, we're
Oh,
all going.
So the Guild vs. Guild challenge we do, it's a PvP. Every month, how the scoring works is it's each guild earns 10 points for a territory war win, 5 for a loss with 5 cleared territories, nothing for a loss with less than 5. Grand Arena scores play a toll in this, and 3 wins is 1 point, 2 is 0.5, and 1 win is 0.25.
Yes, 0.25.
So we all post our screenshots from Grand Arena and Territory Wars and add them up. It's pretty fun.
Besides the last Grand Arena, cheated me.
Yeah. When you get an hour review phase and you can't get a picture.
They cheated me. I had 3 wins.
Yeah, but to go off what Z just explained, so basically it's an alliance-wide thing and kind of just a way to pit every guild against each other for fun as far as PvP in the game goes, to see which guild month to month had the best PvP month. And so far it's been pretty fun. We have the totals for the last 2 months. We need to post them. But it's pretty fun to just see month to month where guilds are at. And I think that you wanted to mention it, Z, just because Photo took the first 2 months and probably took the third and maybe the fourth month.
When they don't lose, it makes it hard to beat them.
Yeah, exactly.
You said they were 19-0. How were you ever supposed to win?
Yeah, it makes it a little rough.
Well, the nice thing about this challenge, too, is the fact that it does equalize all the levels. So you have the Order Initiates all the way up to the Shattered Order. All different levels of playstyle could play together. And it's kind of something fun and something you can't get from the game. Because obviously 4,000 GP is going to crush a 1,000 GP. But if you equalize it in a way and put it together, it makes it fun and competitive. Keeps the guys ribbing each other, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was hoping for, the way, that a 40 million GP guild could still compete with a 215 million GP guild. Obviously, the games are completely different in those areas, but each side has their own difficulty in the way the game is played. So having it all equalized to see, as far as equal ground playing field, it's a lot of fun. So let's see here. What else do we got? Cotton, you had another one.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this the other day when we're talking about all the characters we have in the game, is which character's kit really reflects like their personality and whatever their canon is, whether it's movies, comic books, television, like which actual abilities and special abilities really translate to how the character is supposed to be in the universe, really.
I say the first thing that came to my mind when you asked that question just now was Palpatine.
Yeah.
His abilities. He was the first person to get shock. All his abilities with the lightning, either there's basic or the AoE with the stuns, both of them just totally remind me of the character from the movies.
See, I was actually thinking more, I'm not sure which came first, the chicken or the egg, but Vader. I don't know if Vader came before Emperor Palpatine, but Vader with his force choke and being able to throw his saber, especially once Rogue One came out. I mean, I was basically watching Star Wars Galaxy Heroes at the end of Rogue One. And that's his abilities right there.
Yeah, he was the original achievement character, Vader.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Old Ben, man. I like old Ben with the dodge.
Oh,
in the mind
tricks.
tricks.
Mind tricks. I love mind tricks. That was.
I like old Ben.
One of the best animations ever, just the old Jedi mind trick.
Yeah, I like Mind Trick.
Yeah, I like watching all the turn meter disappear. That's my favorite part.
For me, it would be General Grievous,
Oh man,
especially after rework.
I was gonna say
Rework,
before or
yeah.
after the rework, because yeah, after the rework he looks even crazier. He has some
And
pretty
it's-
sweet animations.
Yeah, and
Sure.
he's one of my favorite characters in Star Wars, so that's sweet.
That's why a ship is coming. Believe it. You heard it here. Believe it. Believe it.
Sidious, I think Sidious in the ways is pretty similar to the movies. Let's see, man.
Grandmaster Yoda.
Even recently, not Gunray. I mean, I think the new mechanics are pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, they definitely play to who the character was from the movie. And if you read that frequently asked questions thing about Newt, they pretty much nailed exactly what the character is in the movies to the abilities. So you can definitely see that. I think Wink's okay, guys. I'm just gonna throw that out there because his name just showed up on the notes. So he's in the
Alright.
notes. I see his name.
I see
I
him
think he's on.
online in Discord.
As long as he's
Well,
not flying through the window right now.
hopefully he can send me a message. And
Yeah, tornadoes can be
then I can
scary,
get him in
man.
here.
Oh yeah.
I
I got a
have
bad one.
I have two sets of characters that I really, really want in the game. One ties to my game name, Dark Disciple. If you've never read that book, I highly recommend it. But it's Quinlan Voss, who's a Jedi that teams up with Asajj Ventress to go after Dooku in that book. Amazing book. But Quinlan Voss is a sick Jedi. I really want him in the game. And the other ones that I really, really want are the Inquisitors.
I'm surprised they're not in the game. Once all those Phoenix characters were coming out, I was like, oh, Inquisitor's coming for sure. I was surprised that they didn't get put in the game.
All right, so that transitions pretty well to the next question, which was from Cotton and Z, kind of here. What characters do you most want to come to the game? What era? And if any of those characters will make the neutral tag that's already in the game something that actually is a thing.
Jar Jar.
Jar Jar. Is that a
Hard pass.
The Darth Jar Jar meta. It's incoming.
Oh man. I honestly, like, we just talked about these buddy synergies, and I don't see these guys coming to the game for a long time because I don't know where they would fit. But if I could get Ponda Baba and Dr. Evazan, I would be stoked.
Absolutely.
Like, those are two characters I really want with buddy synergy on the dark side team. That would be sweet.
Yeah, Cantina friends would be great.
Yeah, exactly. Get some of those Cantina characters in there. You got the Mon Calamari spy looking dude. There's a bunch of cool characters in there.
Now, who do we want or who do we think?
Well, why don't you tell me who you want and then tell me who you think if they're different?
Oh man, I wanted to keep riding the KOTOR train for life.
Oh.
God.
Don't
You're
worry,
all-
they're coming out with a movie soon enough to please
Hey,
that
yeah,
fans.
right.
Where's that
I
island?
can't.
Let's ship
I-
Nate back there.
They got Basilishan. I wanted Satellishan, dude.
Oh man.
I would have loved to seen when they released Thrawn. I don't know if you all read the books, but they have this character in the books called Isal Amiri, which is like a little
Yes.
slug that he has on his shoulder. It's like a
little
force.
gray lizard thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like a little shoulder slug, but it's basically a force dampener. So it would have been an interesting neutral character to bring some kind of anti-Jedi synergy in the game, because it basically creates a force field that dampens force users so they can't use the force. So I thought like neutral characters like that specifically neuter certain teams could have been a good idea.
Yeah. For sure. Sorry, I'm messaging Wink at the moment, so carry on. Any other
The
characters?
priorities.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll probably get Wolf, right? Clone Wolf, Commander Wolf. What's his name? Commander Wolf. Clone.
Wolf
I mean,
would
we're
be
gonna
cool.
get a new clone. We're gonna
Heavy
get a new
would be
clone.
cool.
Heavy's Clone Trooper.
No, that's
That
what
is
everyone
heavy.
says. So maybe we won't get Heavy.
That's heavy.
Maybe.
That's heavy.
Maybe just maybe they'll rework Clone Trooper and turn him into Heavy.
Yeah,
okay
maybe. But that's heavy. But we'll get Wolf.
X-Wing Luke, Shadows or Afrin the droids, Hondo. A lot of names I'm seeing in chat right now.
I don't know how we don't have him.
Right? He's one of the biggest characters from the Clone Wars.
He's like one of the main characters. I don't know how he missed the boat.
Yeah. Well, now they know everyone wants him, so get ready for that. I don't know what you'll need for him, but that'll be a
Also, I
thing.
keep hearing this like fallen Anakin thing. It could be true.
There's a lot of belief that
There's a lot of
there might
people
be. Okay,
saying
so
it.
we don't usually talk about rumors on the show, but I will mention the one that I've seen. Someone mentioned an idea of getting General, or not General Kenobi, because we have General Kenobi, a second Kenobi, Grandmaster Kenobi or something like that. Another legendary in the next couple months, and then having General Kenobi, or the Commander Kenobi, Padme, and General, or Anakin, and there was one other character they mentioned for Anakin, for the actual Order 66 Anakin. And the way it was worded actually looked like it made a lot of sense. I think the fifth character was someone they added for the territory battle that you'd have to get as well, but I can't remember who it is now.
Fish Boy.
Yeah, Fish Face from
Fish Face.
yeah,
Fish Face Bindo.
Jolie with a mask on.
Pod Racer Anakin?
Yeah. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to
Add Wink.
I am adding Win Killer Inc. All right, it's ringing. We shall see him soon, I think. It's still ringing. Let's see how his internet holds up. All right, if he pops in, then we'll go from there.
There he is.
There he
Wink.
is.
Hello?
Hey, hey, hey!
Hey.
Hey!
Welcome to the
He's
celebration
alive!
we're doing
He
without
made it,
you.
yeah.
Woo!
How's it going?
No, the real question is, how's it going for you?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah,
It's going. My internet's having a tough time. It hasn't been working very well. We've had tornado watch and flood warnings and all sorts of crap. There was a tornado down the road, and then there was another one down the road the other direction, and had my phone on the charger, was watching the weather, and wasn't really paying much attention, and yeah, so it's been a night.
Oh, man. Well, we're glad to hear you. You actually made it just in time for our last question and then trivia. So
Ooh, very exciting.
So I'll let you answer this last question based on everything we talked about that you just didn't hear. So, do you think the neutral tag will ever be a thing, and what kind of influence could it have on future characters they may release? And we asked that right after talking about characters we would like to be released to the game.
Ah. So what's the actual question?
Neutral tag. Is it just a thing that they added and they had no use for it, or what is it? Here's my take, and I'll tell you and see if you agree with me. If they were going to add a neutral character, I thought it would have been Revan. Because he was the one that went both ways. But they added a light and a dark, and so there was no room for neutral. Now, I don't know. I can't see any character coming into this game that would be both sides any more than he would be to need that neutral tag.
There's not enough characters, man, to support the neutral tag. I don't think it'll ever come in the game.
Yeah. Well, going off to what Joker said, didn't they say it was a failed experiment that they forgot to remove? I don't remember them saying that exactly, but I do remember them saying that they tested a character, it might have been Revan, with that neutral tag, and it didn't work out the way that they wanted it to, but it might in the future. I thought that's what, what's his face? Capgasp said, but I can't really remember.
I don't recall for sure one way or the other, but I mean, I think there are definitely uses for it, but I'm not sure any of those uses actually make sense in the context of the game, just because, you know, just the way they build these characters. I think any character that may be neutral at some point has been on one side of the fence or the other, and they seem to always choose a very specific spot in each character's journey whenever they add a character to the game.
Yeah. I think it would break a lot of synergies too, because they instead of neutral, you'd have to be given the light side and the dark side tag, right? Or else they would have no synergy with anyone. I guess they would just be Wampa. So there's that. Why doesn't Wampa have the neutral tag?
Well, I mean, that's a good example. I mean, I don't really see how he's dark side, so
No.
I mean, who knows?
You can really say the same thing about all the scoundrels, though. I almost feel like scoundrels became the new neutral tag, or at least how they wanted it to be. Because scoundrels, yeah, technically they're evil, but I mean, all those characters are neutral, really, in the grand scheme of things.
Yep. I agree with that. Oh, man. Well, I think that'll cover our topics. Does anyone have any any famous last words before we move into trivia? Han shot first. Is that a... All right.
Order initiates wants your low-level players. Send them to me.
Yeah.
Shameless.
So, I'll just put this out for everyone. We have... How many guilds do we have? We have 8 guilds in the order. There's always someone looking for guild members. So if you are out there listening to the show and you are looking for a guild, hit me or Wink up, and we will find a place for you in the order. Because new player, old player, there's a spot in any of our guilds for anyone out there that's looking for a guild. So hit me or Wink up, and we will make sure we find a home for you. So.
Yeah, especially Shattered Order if you're like casually like 5 million GP or something.
Just casually, just
the casual 5 mil out there.
Yeah.
Got nothing better to do.
Yeah,
if you're just a casual 5 million, let me know.
All right, Wink, is your soundboard working? Do we actually get a sounder for this?
Yeah, I'm not sure how well you guys are going to hear it because I hear maybe every other word that y'all are saying. My internet is having one hell of a night, but
I can hear you totally fine.
What trivia music do you want? Do you want Harping Thrones or do you want regular trivia?
Let's go Ship Cantina for trivia this week.
We can do that.
All right.
It's time for the sexy bearded duo to battle in their swoga knowledge in the most exciting trivia event in the Outer Rim. It's time for the Shattered Order Trivia. May the Force be with you.
All right, so our good friend, the trivia master, Tesh Karn of our Order Guild Frequent Fighters, has put together a mishmash of quiz questions for us this week. So for everyone out there listening to the show, all the live streamers, all the people listening to the podcast at home, I'm going to give you a code. And if you go to Quizizz.com or use the Quizizz app on your phone, if you put this code in, you can play along with us. And we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this live right now between the whole lot of us. Slacks, Wink, Nate, Dark Disciple, Cotton, Z-Splash versus Goodnight Punk live on the airways. So quizzes.com/join should take you right to where you can put in this code, and I will tell you the code in 2 seconds. I gotta find it. All right, so before I give you guys the code, I'm going to tell you how we do it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the question off, read the answers off. You guys can answer at any point you want. Just don't say whether you got it right or wrong or the answer out loud until I ask, and then once I've asked, we can all say how bad we did, and then we'll move on to the next question and see who wins. How's that?
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, the code for this week is 149790. Again, the code is 149790. What? How come Cotton's already on here with all the answers right?
What?
I'm
you
just
can see that
playing.
already?
I'm just playing. Yeah.
I would certainly believe it.
I do seem to always have the answers.
All right, we got a good chunk of people in here. Playing with 10 other players, 11 other players. Man, we're going. All right. Is everybody loaded in?
Yeah.
All right.
Mine already started. Was I not supposed to start?
No, you're good. I'll just ask the question, give the answers, and then ask if everyone's answered. All right, so question 1 is... Happy 150 episodes, Shattered Order, and welcome guests. How many guilds are in the order? And guess what? 8 is not an option, so I said that wrong 2 seconds ago. The options are 9, 7, 3, and 5.
How should I know?
I don't pay attention to you other people.
Go big or go home.
Do we shout it out or?
As the alliance leader, did you guys all answer yet?
Yeah, we answered.
Okay, well, I feel great shame upon my house as the alliance leader, knowing putting 7 when we have 9.
Yeah, same here.
Numbers? What? I'm not with numbers.
That's terrible.
Did you get it right, Wink?
No, I put 7 as well.
Okay.
I put
was
7
like,
too.
Did anyone get it right?
Yes.
I did.
All right, okay. I was going to feel real bad then for guilds 8 and 9. Which guild in the order won the PvP challenge last it was reported? I can guess that one pretty easy.
It's been advertised enough.
What were the answers? I didn't even read them before I clicked. Future of the Order. I don't know.
Black Outpost, Shattered Order.
All right. Well, the answer was Future of the Order, who has won everyone so far that has been reported. So there is that. All right, you guys ready for question 3? What's up, Nate?
We did get a big win versus Mighty Chlorians, though. Shout out to that.
That was
a pretty big
pretty
win.
fun. I know people in Mighty, but I can't remember who they are, and I didn't see any of their names in the T-Dub. So I'm gonna have to. If you're in Mighty Chlorians in our podcast,
I think they all
server,
label
know.
their guilds.
There's 3 Mighty
Their
Chlorians.
guilds are all named the exact same somehow.
Yeah,
because
3 Mighty
there's a guy in
Chlorians.
my arena.
From a different one.
Yeah, there's 3 guilds, Mighty Chlorians,
Yeah.
all named the same way. I don't know how, but they're all the same.
All right, so this next question is for everyone in our podcast server. In the podcast server, I have a leaderboard for activity and chatting, and every time you chat, if you chat every minute, you're going to get a point every minute you chat. So there is a leaderboard, and this question is, who is the top of the leaderboard for activity on the SO podcast server? And here are your names. Most Def Isley, Molly, Quoth, or Chewbacca. Or sorry, Chewbacca. Sorry, Becca. Chewbacca. Chewbacca. Our friend Chewbacca, not Chewbacca. So, those are your answers. I have answered. You guys good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, the answer was...
I got this one wrong.
Yeah, if you're not a big time in the server, you probably wouldn't know. But it is LSO member Molly, Darth Molly. He is the leader over me and Wink. Molly, been in there since we started. He's a talker. Love Molly.
Quite chatty.
Put that in a soundbite. Love Molly.
He's in the Shattered Order Snapchat. If anyone wants to join that group chat.
Yeah, if you want in on some Snapchat, we got you.
It's literally just me posting snaps.
It's just me watching Nate dance in his car. I think
it's just me posting snaps of me listening to music, basically. But let me know.
It could be different. All right,
could be different.
On to the general questions. Question 4. Which is the most common Zeta in the game? You've got Talzin's the Great Mother, CLS's It Binds All Things, Palpatine's Emperor of the Galactic Empire, or R2's Number Crunch?
That's a
Farm
tough one.
Boy Luke.
Farm
Boy Luke.
Is there an all of the above?
I think I know. I think I have a guess of which one it is, but I don't know for sure.
I
thought this
I'm down
one
to
was
2,
easy.
but I'm not sure which.
I mean, I could have sworn it was this one, but apparently not.
Dang it! I went against my instinct.
Really not.
All right. Do you guys all answer? I chose Number Crunch because you have to have R2 before you get CLS. So I thought, okay, well, that one probably has a higher number. Thinking it was CLS all along, went against my gut, and I got it wrong. So the answer was CLS.
I thought that it used to be Number Crunch at one point was the most common Zeta.
Until the number got crunched?
It's not Han. It's not Han Solo.
Shoot first.
Han Solo Zeta. That's not number 1. Was that even an option?
It wasn't an option.
Really?
So, yeah. I'm gonna have to go look at that leaderboard. I'm curious now. Number Crunch must be 2, right? Gotta be 2.
Gotta be.
All right.
Gotta be.
Which of these characters has no way to take a bonus turn? Padme, Aura Singh, Imbo, or Droideka? Which of these characters has no way to take a bonus turn? Padme, Aura Singh, Imbo, or Droideka? This is rough, man. I know 3 of them. I know the characters pretty well at 3. I don't know one of them, and it's like I just want to pick that one, and it's probably wrong. I'm gonna go with this. Hey, I got it right.
Woo!
All right. How's everyone else doing there? The answer was
I got that one wrong.
Yeah, Lax, I bet you got that one. Did you get that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, the answer was Droideka. Droideka doesn't have a way to take a bonus turn. All right, so question 6. 3 of these pairs have an automatic assist, where the first assists the second. Which one is based on chance? 3 of these pairs have an automatic assist, where the first assists the second. Which one is based on chance? Chopper Phoenix, Mission Zalbar, Wedge Biggs, or K2 Cassian?
That's easy.
Yeah.
It is? Oh.
Yeah, I was about to say. That came from some of the newer players, maybe? So,
Could be.
does that give
Could
me
be.
a hint?
I got it wrong. Surprise.
You didn't listen to my hint, did you? All right, so the answer ended up... Everyone's answered, right? All right, the answer was Chopper and Phoenix. So
Yes,
right when Dark Disciple said, "Oh, this one's easy," I'm like, "Huh, I bet he knows Phoenix pretty well."
I do.
That was me, Lax, who said that.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah.
So I just thought it was one of the was someone with a newer account recently. So there we go. All right. Well, it worked out in my favor either way.
There you go.
Which of these characters has no way to increase cooldowns? Bastila Fallen, Nihilus, Padme, or Darth Revan? Which of these characters has no way to increase cooldowns? Bastila Fallen, Nihilus, Padme, or Darth Revan? I have a guess. I don't know for sure, so we'll see.
I think I know the answer, but that leaves me wondering what the other character does. That kind of came down to two of them, and I'm gonna have to go read some kits.
There you go. Study up.
This was the first one I knew.
I did not know that one.
Wow.
The answer was Padme. I guess Darth Revan. So I was way off. Samsonite. All right.
Don't you use Darth Revan?
I have Darth Revan. Shows you how much lately I've been playing the actual matches. So 8 and 9. I also have Malik, so this will be interesting. When does Malik inflict healing immunity? On his basic Rind, on his drain life, 3 stacks of dark infusion, or on torture. Select all that applies, so you can select more than one.
How should I know? I didn't have him.
I don't have him either. I got it wrong.
I don't either. I play against him enough that I should know, though.
All right, I think I have my answer.
Wait, did you say you didn't get Darth Revan?
Got it wrong.
Oh, no, I'm talking about Malik.
Oh, Malik. Yeah, duh.
So the answers were on his basic and 3 stacks of infusion. I thought it meant he can do it on his basic or when he has 3 stacks of infusion, but he has to have 3 stacks of infusion and he inflicts it on his basic. So that is the way that one goes. If I had thought of it that way, I probably would have got it right.
I can't recall him ever inflicting healing immunity. That's interesting.
And that's because in an arena match, I have never once got my Malik to 3 stacks of infusion. Or dark infusion.
Yeah.
So...
Hey, we got a guest. Who's that?
Hey!
It's attacking.
This is Bonnie.
Bonnie, see if you can get this one right. Which Clone Wars era tune does not have the Separatist tag? Which Clone Wars era tune does not have the Separatist tag? Jango Fett, Poggle, Count Dooku, or Saj Ventress?
Hey, Z, did you see Endgame?
Yeah,
Z Splash, you see Endgame?
I did.
Okay. And you're still petting a cat?
That was in
Captain Marvel, right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, my fault.
Because I haven't seen Captain Marvel yet. I'm like, what is the reference? I'm so confused.
Me either. I have no clue what they're talking about.
I just finally watched them both with my daughter. I had to wait till she came home from college, and we just went and saw them both.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. I still need to see Captain Marvel. When she showed up in game, I'm like, hey, that's you. That person.
You haven't seen that Orin game yet?
All right, so the answer to the last question was Jango Fett. I think I'm going to guess that a lot of you got it right if you tried to play the Separatist event this last go round for Padme. So, all right, time to break it down and let's see where everybody lands. Z, how many did you get right?
Several. 1 second.
Several.
I thought he said 7, and I'm like, holy crap, silent assassin.
Yeah.
55% accuracy. 5 right.
5 right for you. How about you, Cotton?
I only got 4 right, unfortunately.
Okay.
Oh, and you got the answer sheet.
So not way to play us. All right. Good man. Good man.
False expectations.
Yeah. Nate, how about you? What'd you get?
I mean, let's see. Carry the 1. Let's see. Divide by pi. Let's see. 3 right.
Oof.
3.
3. Ouch.
I
How
don't
about you,
read
Dark?
the kits, man. I just click battle and I just run it. I don't read the kits. I just click battle.
Yeah. Makes sense. It's all good. How about you, Dark?
It's
What'd you
more
get?
surprising that way.
Yeah.
I got. I did get 7.
Oh, snap. Number to beat. How about you, Lex?
Oh wow, I got
7
6.
as well.
Oh.
Oh.
And Wink with a
Calm
6.
down.
Nice.
And I got the 5. All right, well,
Yo,
Dark
got-
and Lax are the winners
got
of
the-
trivia tonight.
You got the
Very
Spark
nice.
Notes?
Well, I cheat. I'm also in frequent fighters, so I called Tesh before.
Oh, there you go. Tesh gave them to you then. Gotcha. I didn't see that coming. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the kits work, dude. I use Dark Forever every day. I don't know how the stacks work. I just run it. I just know my Bastila goes first, so I usually win.
Pretty much the key.
That's
All
the
right,
key.
guys. Well, I want to say, despite tornadoes and Wink having to jump in late, we appreciate everybody coming and hanging out with us for this 150th episode. It's always a little hard to organize and get something like this going, but I'm really glad that you all could join us.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us. This whole thing has been great. We really appreciate it. And congratulations on 150.
Yeah, it's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah, thank you. Greetings
Thanks,
from
guys,
Europe.
and thanks for covering for me while I was on a
Yeah.
hiatus.
5 new Winks. All right. Wink, you got any last words since you didn't get to talk much, and I know you like to?
I'll be ready to talk more on 151. I'm serious. My internet is having hell. I have to. It's like trying to decrypt Morse code or something. Listening to you guys talk. This is a disaster.
I can
All right,
hear
then.
Wink fine.
Well,
me too.
I will throw this out there. Thanks for everyone for listening. All the information about our podcast will be in the description of the videos on Twitch and YouTube. But if you want to come join us and hang out with us, come hang out for the next 150 episodes. Dear God. Discord.me/Shattered Order. That's our Discord. Come hang out with us there. And other than that, thanks guys again for coming to hang out with me and Wink. And we'll see you guys next week for 151. Later.
Later.
Yeah, going back
Later,
to sleep.
guys.